Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Jennifer and this is Space with Jen, a space where I hope that we can talk about a lot of the challenges that we may be facing in a way that feels really practical. Today we have three piles that you can pick from. We have pile 1 here, pile 2, and pile 3. You can take as long as you need to see which pile you feel most drawn to. And if you feel drawn to more than one pile, then you may have two messages here today in this reading. Also, we have been doing a mental health check-in, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. But if you'd like to just go ahead and skip to the reading, you can go to the description below and see the timestamp. So we're going to use this cute emoji scale here. Where would you place yourself? And you can pause the video to give yourself more time to think about this. And now that you have an emoji picked out, are you able to choose or decipher an emotion that you're feeling related to that emoji? So for example, if you pick the green emoji, are you feeling confident or hopeful today? Maybe you pick the middle emoji because you're having a hard time feeling or just feel indifferent in general in this present moment. So if you are having some difficulty with finding a word to place your emotion in this moment, here is the wheel of emotions. And you can use this to basically find a way to describe how you're feeling. And I always leave this linked in the description box if you find this helpful. But yeah, take some time if you need to put a word to what you're feeling and to the scale rating that you just gave yourself. Okay, so you have rated yourself on the scale. You've chosen a word that you feel like best matches what you're currently feeling in this moment. And so for some people, you may find it helpful to let other people know how you're feeling. So if you feel like it would be healing, helpful, therapeutic to leave in the description what you're feeling, maybe if it's just the emoji that you used or the word that you chose from the wheel of emotions, or maybe you want to share that with someone in real life as well, like a loved one, a partner, a friend. That way you can kind of talk about how you're feeling, even if it is that you're feeling really good today and you want to share that with someone. That's also totally fine. So if this is your first time here or you've seen another reading of mine, this channel is a space for you so that you can feel safe, seen, heard, and understood. And I can't forget to feel comfortable as well. So this is the perfect time to go and grab a drink, whether a hot or cold beverage, a coffee, a tea, some water, or something else entirely. You can take this time to make sure that you take care of you emotionally and physically as well. Hi Pile 1, welcome to your reading today for your March 2023. I have a cute little floof in the camera. I was just shooting and then he jumped in frame and I'm like, okay, you can stay. Or not. They see a dog going past the window so they're like, alright, I need to watch that instead. But yeah, welcome you guys, welcome. So we're just going to go straight into your reading. We have already picked your cards off camera, but we may pick some more oracle cards as we go along, especially if we need any clarification. So the first card you have this is from the past life oracle, I believe, but we're just using it in the sense of like getting messages, not past life related or anything like that. So we have Atlantis and War in Battle. So the Atlantis card for me brings up a message that revolves in some way around like emotions. But with the war and battles, I feel like it regards to emotions that have been brought up potentially by disagreements or just things in life that are really challenging. And like the things in life that are really challenging is like very non-specific. But let's, pull the rest of the cards and get as specific as possible. So we have make a conscious choice, rise above any conflict spiritually, and make a decision regarding the situation or person. Consciously choose what you want so you can manifest your heart's true desires. Ask yourself what changes need to be made. Do what's right for you at the moment. And we also have home and family. This is home environment or family changes. This could be a new home or relocation. This may pertain to an upcoming celebration with family, or you may be feeling more at home in a relationship. So for you guys, this is definitely feeling like family related, like, or friends that feel like family, like non relative individuals. Like, you may not be connected by blood, but you consider this person family, and you may be having disagreements with them on varying scales of severity, but disagreements in which is really kind of messing with you emotionally, and in a way that it's also affecting several parts of your life. So you may be having arguments with this person, and now school feels affected, or now work feels affected, or I just really just am so stressed out about this, I really don't have the energy to go to the gym, etc., etc. So let's see what else we have for you guys. Oh wow, the home card. So I did pull these off camera, but I did not look at them unless they like came face up. So if you generally hear me surprised, I'm surprised. I love when things kind of connect this well. So home, we have inner journey, forgiveness, grounding. For a large majority of you guys, again, this is either happening in the home space, like, under the roof that you live, or with someone that you are close to, in the sense that you would call them family, whether or not you're related by blood. One aspect that I'm getting for you guys is this feels like an experience of growing up. This could be growing up in the sense of you feel like you are experiencing spiritual growth. This could be educational growth, financial growth. This could be growth in a lot of different areas, but because of this change that you're experiencing, it may make it feel like you're not as connected to this person, and so results like arguments or disagreements have kind of arisen. So one example of this could be, maybe you have a partner and you have assumed traditional relationship roles within you guys' relationship. And so maybe you start to make more money than your partner, and that kind of brings up some issues around the roles that you guys have taken on previously in a relationship. This could be just, maybe the family member that you are closest to has a certain religion and you have a different religion. And, because of this change that maybe you guys used to share the same religion and now you don't, is leading to arguments. I do get the sense that for many of you, this is not disagreements in the sense that you'd want to, not be talking to your family anymore, although this may be really hurtful experience. But I feel like for you guys, at least in this pile, or at least a majority of you, forgiveness is definitely on the table. Like, it's something that you want to repair this relationship, you want to work through the differences and challenges that have come up. Also too, I feel like for some of you guys, there is a change in your morals and your values, which can kind of relate to that religion example. But because of these changes in your morals and values, you're kind of needing to figure out, where do I still connect really tightly with the people that I already care about in my life, knowing that some of these things have changed. So, sometimes we are able to connect with people because of our spirituality or our religion. Sometimes we're able to connect with people about our politics. Sometimes we're able to connect with people due to our sense of humor. maybe one of those things changes. You change your religion or you change your political views or stances, and there was someone really close to you where that was a large portion of what you clicked with, and so you guys are kind of trying to figure out, where do I click with this person, or where do I click with people in general? Maybe this isn't one person specific, and this is more general in the sense of like, I really don't feel like I'm connecting with the friends that I want to make or the friends that I have, and I'm really just trying to figure out where I click. Sometimes getting a little bit clearer on your likes and your dislikes, your wants and your needs. Yeah, things that are just like priorities in the sense of values and morals. There is a worksheet that is super duper helpful for figuring out what your values are, because oftentimes when we know what we value, it can help us in making decisions in life. I will make sure to link it in the description below. So yeah, definitely consider checking it out. Like, the worksheet is completely free. It's from a book that I've also found really, really helpful, like in my own mental health journey. So if you're interested in that book, you can check the description below. It's linked there. But yeah, if you're just interested in like the values worksheet within the book, I will make sure to link that in the description. But yeah, there's definitely an aspect here of wanting to work this out with this person. All right, so let's see what else we have. We have transformation, divine timing, slow but steady, and new day. I feel like pile one, some of you guys have experienced some type of, I think, what will be labeled today as the glow up. Like, that's the best way I can kind of think of it. Like, there's something in your life that has been extremely upgraded, even if it's just something internal, like your self confidence, your self esteem, your standards. Like, there's something here about this drawn out process that you've had of glowing up. And I feel like the time in which people notice this glow up has kind of started for you. This may be causing some, yeah, maybe just like disagreements and like what is good or not good for you. For example, like, because people have known you as this one person for so long, and maybe many of the changes that you've experienced, for the people who've known you, they experience you as a new person. And this isn't negative. Like, isn't change one of the things that we can kind of always count on? Things are always changing. People are always changing, growing, learning, adapting. And so I feel like that's what you've done. And now there's kind of like this thing about timing, how you can reconnect with people. I think for many of you, you're really needing to experience this new person. That way you can get a better sense of um, who really clicks with where I am now in life, but also too that these relationships that have been really important to you, also trying to figure out how can I reconnect or continue to connect with these people in a way that doesn't take, I feel like it's important for you guys for this not to take super long, because I think you guys know that it's important to maintain relationships and, to kind of be doing this continual work. That way, you don't lose touch and with important people, or in ways that have been important. So yeah, with sacred and solitude, that is really just like re-emphasizing the fact that there's a lot of inner work, inner changes that have occurred. Also, too, for many of you, this is out again, like the inward things that have changed kind of bleeding out outwardly so that people can see it, whether that's because you have a new hairstyle, or you changed the way that you do your makeup, or you started to do makeup, your hairstyle, clothes, whatever that thing is. There's a sense here that people can now start to see it. But at the same time, you're still experiencing, almost like experiencing this for the first time as well. I feel like for some of you guys, this is others experiencing it and you experiencing it almost feeling like the same time, because although you've been building up to this, it feels like because other people are kind of making note of it, it becomes more real because it's not just you noticing it, but other people as well. And so I think for that reason, it also becomes a full, like, now I can experience the fullness of these changes of this new version of myself. And with the abundance and health card, I think again these cards are just reconfirming, like, it's important for you to not lose any support systems that you had in place, because of the changes that you made. And you're really learning how to go about reconnecting. So maybe instead of being able to relate conversationally or intellectually, you guys start to relate in hobbies or more shared activities. So while in the past you may have sat down and had like 2 hour conversations about your political stances and the political climate in your country and in the present moment, now you're going out and enjoying walks together, or going out and trying new sports or new restaurants, and that is becoming a way for you guys to bond and talk about different things as well. Maybe you try doing like a book club together, or like try and play different puzzles together. But there's definitely a sense here that you are really trying to make sure that this relationship is still fulfilling for yourself and for the other person, because you really do value this connection. If this is for a single person or a single people that you're kind of thinking about. So yeah, pile one, this is all that I have for you guys today. I do hope that you found it helpful. Don't forget that the values worksheet will be linked in the description, and I will see you guys in your next reading. Bye, pile one. Hi guys, welcome to your reading for March 2023 if you've chosen pile 2. So let's get right into it. So we have some cards that are already drawn that are going to be like the main theme for today's reading, and then we'll pick some more cards as we continue. So the main theme message you guys have is a change in the wind. So let us grab the book really quickly because I wanted to give you guys a card as usual, as per usual, where you can read along with it and just get a very direct message, and then we'll build on it. So let's see. So the main like essential meanings are a sense that unseen change has been initiated, preparation for a storm, awareness that your plans are not on firm grounding, feeling a shift, uncertainty about which direction the winds will blow. And the message says it's human nature to yearn for certainty and resist change, to want the world to remain consistent like a zebra's stripes. Yet, nothing in human experience is black and white, nor will anything remain static. The one thing guaranteed is change. Now is a time of transformation as outer conditions are temporarily moving out of sync with your desires and expectations. Stay the course and remember that even storms serve to clear the air, scatter seeds, and nourish the soil for better things ahead. Life is about to get interesting. Anticipate it with curiosity as you wonder what is coming in on the shifting winds. The unknown is where the magic lies. And so for you guys in pile 2, many of you already know what this change is in regards to, what this upcoming surprise is in regard to, and the card that we have here is abundance. So for many of you guys, this may be financial in nature. This could be in abundance in the sense of like feeling emotionally fulfilled in life as well as a form of abundance. Yeah, those are like two really big ones I'm picking up on. This could also be like, yeah, we're talking about emotional abundance, but also in regards to like relationships, like feeling fulfilled in our relationships or building new relationships with people. So let's get some more information for March 2023 for pile 2. Okay, so we have the gratitude card, and let's get one more, please. Thank you. And tender. So the colors here for me reiterate like the emotional aspect of this. Um, I feel like you guys are wanting to either develop or change relationships in a way that feel more, um, I guess the first word that comes to mind is reciprocal, but I don't feel like that relates for every single person in this pile. Yeah, I think that this also would be for people who you want other people to kind of like love you in the way you want to be loved, if that makes sense. Just kind of, I think for you guys, there may be an understanding that, love doesn't look one way. And so, how you may want to be loved may be different than the person who is loving you. And so, you're really wanting to have them feel excited and um, as exuberant about loving them the way they want to be loved as you would be doing that, if that makes sense. So, for many of you, you may have not had a conversation with this person yet because you may be nervous about how it would be received, and so that may be why the message of, wanting the other person to be excited as you is coming up. But, we do have the abundance card here. So this is talking about the opportunity to experience this. And so, although I know I'm not going to diminish from the difficulty in doing these things, right? But when you do get to a point um, where you feel comfortable and feel able to have this conversation, it will definitely allow you to experience more abundance in this regard. And also too, like, I feel like this is a person that you're already really grateful for, but I think you kind of recognize the importance of, recognizing the changes that you have made in your life, the changes in your needs and your wants. It's just like kind of, I feel like a theme for March for people who have come across this video. Just noticing the changes that you've made and really having your relationships mirror those changes in a sense, like, or adjust for those changes because they were needed. You made the change because you felt it was needed. Hi, Mino. They like to get involved with the readings if you cannot see. All right, so we have the card here, whole. Okay, and we also have the card. What was this? Sacred. And this card actually came out in another pile as well. So with whole and sacred, I want to say that for some people here in this pile, there is a aspect of healing that part of you that wants to experience either like sexual intimacy, just intimacy in general, or just exploring yourself, if that makes sense. So not with someone else, but just like what you do by yourself, with yourself, wanting to explore that and have that to be a more sacred experience. I think for some of you guys in this pile, if you um, relate to this message, just part of this message, there's a sense of wanting to keep keep in mind how you may be emotionally impacted by your sexual relationships. I feel like that's the headspace that some of you guys may be in. Um, and because of this, you're wanting to make this experience for some to feel more sacred. Or if it's not that you're trying to make it feel more sacred, is that the act in of itself has begun to feel more sacred to you in some way. And so you're really safeguarding who it is that you engage in sexual activity. And I feel like a large reason for this is because you don't want to feel like people are chipping away at you emotionally. Because again, we had that change in the wind card and what it was discussing. And I feel like this is a different layer of conversation about wanting to make sure that you leave situations feeling whole. Maybe in the past you have engaged with people who have not made you feel good about yourself, or you haven't felt good about the experience, and so it really tore you down in ways that lasted lasted a really long time, if not still lasting. And you kind of realizing some of these things in hindsight, trying to make sure that you don't re-experience, certain people who just don't have really good energy that they bring to a sexual situation. Um, so yeah, that is coming up for you guys. Anything else for March 2023? My pile twos. Okay, we have held. So yeah, you guys, if there was another pile that you were drawn to, because you guys are getting like a lot of or some of the same cards, um, but here with the held card, this is really talking about the importance again of experiencing intimacy in a way that is safe. This does not have to be just sexual. This could be, with our family, with our platonic friends. But also, too, this could just be specifically in regards to sexual experiences. But either way, there is here something important about getting to experience intimacy in a certain way. And a change in the wind, too, like related to that, could be that you are now more aware of what you want to experience. Maybe for some of you guys, or many of you guys actually, there's not so much a discovery of what you don't like or what you don't want, or what your morals or your values are. It's these things, and now you're trying to make sure that they get upheld in the relationships that you have, so that you can experience this intimacy. Because I think that when you guys don't experience a match with morals or a match with values, for example, it's almost like you can't experience the passion, you can't experience the intimacy, the connection, because you really needed those things to allow you to experience something with another person, friend wise, or other types of relationships. So yeah, let's see. Is there anything else? Not in this pile, no. No, pile two. That is all that I have for you guys today. It was a shorter reading. So let me know what you thought. Do you prefer the shorter readings? Would you like readings that are longer? But I appreciate you guys being here today, and being willing to allow me to share some messages of confirmation for you guys. So yeah, thank you again for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Bye, Pal 2. Hi, Pal 3. Welcome to your March 2023 reading. So we have already picked some of you guys' cards off camera. So what we're going to do is start with these, and then if we need any more cards, any more clarification, we can keep pulling cards as we go along. So the main theme for you guys' reading was pulled with this card. So we have thinker. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, that way you guys can have a clearer, concise kind of start. Let's read the meaning straight from the book, and then we will go from there. Okay, so thinker, the essential meaning is strategy, being analytical and logical. The ability to reason and strategize is the focus now. Take things at face value and follow the logical path. Your calculations will prove to be correct, for in this moment there is no deeper meaning than what is obvious. Things are exactly as they seem. You have all the information you need. Keep it simple and you will win the game of life you're playing right now. So maybe a lot of you guys are in a stage right now where you feel like you are doing a lot of thinking, a lot of conceptualizing, and you're really just not feeling like you're coming to a conclusion. So this card is really reminding you to just look and see, like, the answer is much more obvious than you may have been given it credit for. And allowing what you see as an answer to kind of be that answer. Obviously, like tuning in, with yours, intuition and your gut instinct to see if it feels right. But I'm definitely saying that, you may be doing a lot of overthinking, but the answer is kind of a lot more obvious than you think. Here for the relationship meaning, it says love is not logical, but when you choose a partner, it is good to have things in common other than desire. This is the time to weigh the pros and cons of your relationship. If there is enough common ground, go for it. If not, there are other fish in the sea. Don't force it to work. And should others tell you who they are, take them at their word. Now is not the time to indulge in a fantasy, no matter what. In this case, the facts are the facts. So, if we're talking about overthinking and needing to see, what is really there, like objectively, um, if we're then relating this to relationships, simply just like the card said, if there are red flags, for example, that you're noticing in a partner and have been choosing to ignore those, or not choosing to ignore them, but simply, you know, your mind wasn't really allowing you to really be conscious about it for one reason or another. But either way, whether you felt that this is conscious or unconsciously done, really just talking about what is it that I'm noticing, putting a word to it, and making it very real and obvious to yourself. That way you can kind of get out of this stage of thinking, because I feel like this stage of thinking has kind of left you in environments or in situations, in relationships, in jobs, in spaces where you may be feeling like you don't want to be, but you don't know why you don't want to be there. Like, you can't really explain the feeling. Like, maybe you're in a relationship and you're like, I don't really like it here, but you can't really put a reason to why you don't like it here anymore. And so for many of you guys, what this may be that could help, and it's so crazy because I think that many of the piles here today are connected with a essential theme, and that theme kind of being figuring out what you need and what you want, your morals and your values. That way it's much easier for you, pile 3, to say, oh, this is why I don't feel good in this space. Oh, this is why I don't click with this person. Oh, this is why I don't like doing this anymore. Or this is why this is draining, or this person is draining to me. Really needing to get very clear, concise about your needs, your wants, your morals, your values. So I had mentioned in another pile that I'm going to leave in the description box. This really short worksheet is from a book called The Happiness Trap that is also linked in the description, but it has been a huge help for me in my mental health journey. Just trying to figure out how to work through life's challenges that may not be directly related to mental health diagnoses or other things like that, but still impact my mental health because they impact my life. They may be stressful, etc. But this values worksheet really has helped me to get clear on what is important to me, like the way that I would word a specific value or the importance that it plays, or being honest with myself and saying, I don't value this, although many people may value this thing or expect me to value it. It's not actually a value of mine. But yeah, once you kind of get clear on that a little bit better, it's really easy to understand why certain things just you don't care for them, whether this is like a tangible thing or like a person or a type of community or a type of religion or spiritual belief. There's so many things that sometimes we just don't quite understand why we don't like them, and knowing our morals and values sometimes can really help us to figure out why we don't like something. So I'm not gonna I feel like I've like repeated the same thing over, but yeah, it's linked in the description if that's something that you are interested in. So let's go ahead and get the rest of you guys' cards. So we have the card here, Spirit. We have Thinking. We have Moon. And this pretty card. I don't remember what the name of the card is, but I do remember the meaning. Okay, so pile 3. So again, we have a card that's talking about the thinking that you've been doing, but here we have a piece of a puzzle, right? So I feel like a lot of you guys have... Sorry about that. The rice cooker went off. But okay, I feel like you guys, in your thinking have maybe felt like there's a missing piece, like something that I need to know to make me feel 100% confident to make a certain decision, or to feel really confident in a knowing that you now have. And I feel like, again, that missing piece really was allowing yourself to not think as much as you were, but to observe, to see, to put words to what you're seeing, as well as to getting clear on internal things like values, morals, etc. Um, in getting this missing piece, whether that is one of those things or both of those things, it really frees you up. Like, I think, you may have experience saying to yourself, like, oh, is my intuition not good? Am I, really bad at, cluing into my gut feelings? And I want to say, at least as the reader, it doesn't feel like that's the case. It feels like you really are connected to your intuition. You really are connected, to many of the things that you would hope to be connected to internally. But with anything, I think oftentimes, especially like in spaces like this where we're using tarot or divination to talk about, more practical things like mental health and, challenges that we may be facing that are very like concrete, it can be very confusing when we aren't able to practically do something or to gain a practical understanding of something. That way we feel like we can move forward. And so maybe that's why, for some of you guys, it's been hard to figure out how to get that mental, that like last piece of the puzzle, because, things that are maybe more ethereal in nature, I don't know if that's the best word to describe it, but like, working on your chakras or something along those lines wouldn't necessarily help you to figure out what your morals and values are, if that makes sense. And so I feel like you guys have needed to figure out what is something that I can like actually do, work on, figure out. And if that's not what you were already thinking, this may be coming in to say, like, that may be what you find the most helpful, having something that you can physically do, which is totally fine. There is a space for using our gut and using our intuition. And then other times when we can say, hey, I can go the more practical route, in which I'm, just observing and seeing what I see objectively, as well as what kind of activities or assessments or other things like that can I use to help in this situation, in this environment. You may hear my cat running around. They have the zoomies. This is so cute. I'm sorry. Okay, all right. So let's see what other cards you guys have. So we have slow but steady. Slow but steady. Abundance. Forgiveness. And retreat. Okay, so for the last part of this message for you guys, the abundance card is really talking about for the part of yourself that may be worrying about, what comes after this. Will there be relationships and connections, or situations that you still feel like you get, fulfillment from? This abundance card is coming in to say, yes, like, although you may be getting more clear about certain things, and so you may be wanting to adjust relationships or jobs, the adjustment is also going to allow you to experience what you're wanting to experience, instead of experiencing more of what you don't want. I hope that makes sense. But with the slow but steady card here, really giving a picture of, figuring out one thing at a time. That way you can, for example, try something new. Maybe it's like a new hobby, for example, or like a new type of, or a new like way of doing something. So you just try it out, see how it feels, see if you like it or not, and then try something else. That way you don't kind of feel overwhelmed. If that's not something you're doing, maybe that's something that you may find helpful. And then we also have forgiveness and retreat here. So for some of you guys, similar to actually another pile, this may be that because of some of the changes that you've made, maybe you've kind of like butt heads with some people because you're in essence kind of like a different person because of some of the changes that you've made, and so maybe there have been disagreements. And so, if these are relationships that you really value and want to, have those relationships remain in your lives, this could be talking about, approaching that person or them approaching you, and just kind of talking about, who you are now. Like, although I may present the same or look the same, internally you kind of know that you feel different, you are different. And so getting to communicate that to someone, especially if um, they haven't brought it up, or, maybe you guys were having arguments but not able to kind of pinpoint where the difficulty was sort of like starting from. But, the retreat card also says that take the time that you need. You are a new person, you've done a lot of work, either externally or internally, and now you're really needing to allow yourself to settle in, to experience it, as well as that if you have naysayers, like these are people that maybe you don't want to keep relationships with, or you weren't really close to them, but yet still they have something like negative to say. This is you really saying like, hey, I'm gonna keep my space. That way I can enjoy this without, taking into consideration the outside influences, because this is something that you decided for yourself. This was something that you decided that you needed or wanted. And that is more than a valid reason for the change that you made. Okay, so let us finish up with some oracle cards, and then I'll let you go, pile three. So we have vulnerable, pleasure. Let's get two more for you guys. For some of you guys, pile three, you're feeling vulnerable. You'll feel. Oh my goodness, sorry. For some of you guys, pile three, you are feeling vulnerable because this is a new space for you. You don't really have this mapped out. No one really has this mapped out. You're kind of feeling like I'm the first person, kind of going on this individualistic journey. And so you may feel very vulnerable because of that. But also, too, like, there is a lot here for you to be gained, a lot of things for you to enjoy along the way, and this could just be something as simple as like really enjoying yourself, really enjoying the experience of who you are now, in a way that you haven't maybe felt like you could in the past. So what else do we have for pile three? Okay, we have natural. Maybe this, for some of you guys, is like you going all natural, like whatever that means to you. Whether this is like makeup that looks natural, kind of, what is that style of makeup? I think they call it like a everyday kind of glowy makeup. That, that type of thing. For example, like having an aesthetic that you would frame as natural, or maybe this is you wanting to do certain exercises like calisthenics or body weights. And then we also have evolve here. So whatever it is, these things are really allowing you to change. And I think that for you guys, maybe in the past you've experienced people making you maybe feel like change wasn't something to be really happy about or praise. People may have made you feel like you needed to be stagnant, and like, here are you now. Oh my god, here you are now. Here you are now pushing against what people were saying, because you really do trust yourself enough to know, like, hey, this is what I want. And this is really, really, again, you moving out of that thinking to just observing. So whether pile three, you are my people who are observing red flags in people, and being honest with yourself about what you want to do about that, or this is you observing the changes in yourself and saying, I'm going to be honest about who matches up with me now that I've made this change. Any final messages for pile 3? Awake. Yeah, so you guys, the old person that you were, the remnants of them that you still enjoy, you still connect with, that is still there. But you have now awakened a part of yourself that is brand new to experience, brand new to praise, brand new to be noticed by others. And I think it's really, gonna help your mood if you felt in the past that you were just really stuck in your thoughts and not as much in getting to feel and experience this new version of you. Um, so yeah, pile 3, I love this reading. If you felt like it related, I would love to hear, which side you kind of fell on. Like, were you the, part of the pile where you're really kind of like rediscovering or discovering this new person that you are? Or did you feel like you kind of fell into the group where we are observing the red flags in relationships so that we can figure out what we want to do afterwards? And if you don't feel comfortable to leave a comment about either of those, that's also totally fine. But I appreciate you guys allowing me to be here to share messages that I hope have been confirmation of what you've been experiencing and considering as next steps. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Bye, Pile 3.